Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Midlife Revolution. I'm your host, Megan Connor, and I have with me today Gerry Vallow. Thank you
Hello.
so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to talk with you. Gerry and I have gotten to know each other just a little bit. I met you at Charles's trial, and we've stayed in touch. And Gerry promised to come and do an interview on my channel. And what I told him was that, there are rules about what you can say in a victim impact statement. But I promised him that on my channel, he could say whatever he wanted. So,
And I will.
but we're going to talk for just a couple of minutes before we start letting the cuss words fly so that YouTube doesn't get mad at us.
I won't drop the F-bomb.
Okay. So before we get started, though, I just want to say that I was very moved by your victim impact statement today. I said to you earlier, I wanted to stand up and clap when you finished speaking. I thought it was very well done. It was eloquent. It was profound. I thought it was just very perfectly said. I think you had an appropriate amount of profanity at the right places. And you did, knowing you and knowing how you feel, I think you did a remarkable job of keeping your composure.
Well, thank you. And I did. And I did maintain my composure very well because I actually wanted to turn around and flip her off and, that kind of stuff. But I did not want to disrespect Judge Bareski's courtroom. So I just said what I said and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciated the fact that Judge Bareski was so focused on each person as they were speaking. And I've said this before, but during trial, I would see him looking at his notes or looking at his computer screen or, whatever, sending messages to his staff. But during this part of the process, he was completely focused on the person who was speaking each time. And then I was so pleased that at the end of all of the victim impact statements, when he got a chance to say what he was going to say, he addressed you all directly. And I so appreciated the care and concern that he had for all of you as victims.
he did. He told each and every one of us some things. And he's also, one thing that sticks out, he said he shared the same birthday as Charles.
Yeah.
And every birthday that he has, he will remember. But the eye focus, when I was giving my statement, I would look up at him and he never took his eyes off of me.
Yeah.
He was listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he heard what I said. And I would say something and look down at my notes and look back up at him, and he was still looking me straight in the eye.
Yeah.
And he's he was a good judge.
Yeah.
He just was.
Yeah, I think he was very fair, and he was also very unbiased. I really think he was unbiased. I think he was trying to give Lori a fair trial. He heard her out. Sometimes he even gave her advice. And a lot of people were kind of angry about that. They wanted him to be tougher on her. But the way I saw it was he's trying to make sure she doesn't have any reason to appeal. And I don't know if you felt the same way.
Well, he succeeded because he followed every rule of the law, and she didn't have a leg to stand on, so to speak.
Yeah. Couple that with the fact that she doesn't really know what she's doing in there.
Of course not. She was an idiot.
So tell me about, if you want to, and you don't have to reveal anything you don't want to reveal, but I'm curious. I know that you and I spoke originally about what you wanted to say in your victim impact statement. And then it seems like after that, you spoke with the prosecutor and they gave you some guidelines. Can you tell us kind of what some of those are?
Well, I thought I would be able to address her, but I found out that I couldn't.
Yeah.
So had to speak directly to the judge, and I couldn't talk to her.
Yeah. When I was thinking about that rule, I sort of think that it's a good rule. First of all, I know that they try to be pretty strict about it. But secondly, knowing Lori as I do, I just think nothing that you or anyone else could have said was going to really make a dent in her brain, if that makes sense.
Well, I could have sat there and called her all kind of names, a malignant narcissist, a whore of Satan, and all of that, which I wanted to, but I didn't want to feed her anything for her narcissistic brain.
Yeah.
And so I didn't give her that food. And
yeah.
I felt good when I was done, and that was that.
Yeah. I'm glad you felt good when you were done. I felt good when you were done too. There were a number of times that I felt like it was inappropriate to not clap. I felt like I was in church for a minute because I wanted to so many times. But I think you're so wise to make the decision to not call her names, because you're right. That does kind of feed. She does feed on chaos. She does feed on anger. And, I think that gives her fodder for future ruminations about how great she is and whatever. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole. But I do want to ask you, were there some things that you wish you could have said that would have been against the rules?
Yes, there were, but I don't think I want to share it on this channel because, but I would have liked to talk to her face to face, look her in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and tell her that what an evil bitch she was, and that how I think she was the one that was possessed by evil. She was the one that had the evil spirits in her, and she was the dark spirit. And I didn't go there. It would have went way too deep, too far, and I could have talked for years. And I'm not a talker.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things I'd love to said to her, but I just didn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you didn't, just mainly for the fact that I think what you did say was so well stated. And also, I don't think that saying those things to her has any impact on her at all.
Of course not. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She has no regard for human life.
Right.
None.
Right. I'm curious about if you are willing to share if there were some moments during the sentencing today that stood out to you that you want to talk about.
Well, several. I think my nephew Todd, JJ's father, did a very good job of what he had to say.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister Susan, when they were up on the screen, it just made me cry. I started crying. I did.
Yeah.
And then Larry, I was listening to him, watching him, listening, and that made me tear up.
Yeah.
And everybody did a good statement. Nobody's better than the others, but it was just something difficult to listen to.
Of course. Yeah. What was it about Susan's statement that impacted you the most?
Because Susan has overcome insurmountable odds to still be a survivor. And Susan, she's a sweetheart. I love Susan, and I can't say specifically what. I'd have to read her statement,
Yeah.
but it had a profound effect on me.
Mm-hmm. I was really touched by her story of Charles gifting her a car and her talking about the last time that they spoke. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really beautifully said.
It was very well said.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you also got a little emotional when Larry was speaking. Mm-hmm. I think it was hard not to. I was so just riveted to listen to what he was saying. You know, Larry, over the years, whenever I've seen an interview with him, he is so emphatic about the way that he feels, and he very clearly, he doesn't mince words. But I'm curious about what for you was the most profound part of his statement, or the part that you resonated with the most.
He misses his grandson.
Yeah.
Lori murdered that child, and he still hurts over that. Mm-hmm. And that is what resonated for me. Mm-hmm. Larry's, one of probably these best, honorable, most decent people I've ever known. Yeah. And for somebody to do that to him was just, it was horrible. I was really glad that he brought up the fact that Lori tried to kill him, because this is one of those things that it can't really come into evidence at court, because we don't really have any substantial proof other than Larry and Kay talking about their own experiences. But that was what I think I liked the best about victim impact statements, was that you got to say a lot of things that couldn't come in as evidence, but that the judge needed to hear, and I was so glad that Larry mentioned that, because I think a lot of people maybe have sort of dismissed it as... A lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, didn't know that. True. Right. That Larry and Kay were visiting Lori in Hawaii, and he got on the plane and he felt like he'd been poisoned. He didn't really realize it until later, I think, but I was glad that he talked about that. I want to go back to Todd for a second, because Todd is JJ's biological father. Mm-hmm. And I was very moved by what he said today. And not only that, but the odds that he's overcome to even be in court today. I was so grateful he was able to be here. I was grateful that he chose to speak. And I was really, it was profound what he said. Was there anything in there that was special to you? What Todd said? Mm-hmm. Todd has, he's a good kid. He is. He's an honorable man, but he had some trouble, and he has overcome it. And we all hope and pray for him that he continues to carry on a good life. Yeah. And I think that he's learned his lesson, but he's, when he stood up there and talked, I was kind of blown away, actually, Megan. Yeah. It really was. He talked about forgiveness and all that. And, I don't hate Lori. I forgive her. But my forgiveness is not what she's got to worry about, because God knows what she did. And that's who she needs to worry about. So. Yeah. I was able to meet Todd tonight, and I just thought he was lovely. And he is such a calm and unassuming person. He's a little bit like you. Like you said, you guys are kind of quiet guys. But he said something really profound to me tonight. He said that he's really focusing on the idea of helping other parents
who are struggling with addiction to really motivate them to get clean so that they can be better parents.
Well, you can't get clean unless somebody that's been there and knows addiction helps you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have a college degree and think that you're going to help people overcome their addiction when you've never experienced it.
Yeah.
And I think Todd, I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah.
Helping people do that.
Yeah. And Megan Music and we were talking to him tonight, and Megan said, I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I agree 100%. Because of what you're saying, unless you've really been there and overcome it yourself, you just don't really know what it's like. And I think a lot of people struggling with addiction see addiction programs or addiction counselors as, they don't really know what I'm going through. But somebody like Todd coming in and talking to them and encouraging them, I think would be a huge blessing to those people.
And it will be. I mean, if you're trying to get clean off addiction or sober from alcohol, are you going to talk to somebody that's never done it or somebody that's been there and experienced it?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to the guy that's been there and done it.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. So here's how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think he will be very good at that. And I will support him at anything he does with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's the other thing that I have really loved about this. I like to call it this inglorious saga. One of my subscribers gave me that idea. Is that we've met so many wonderful people. We've formed so many incredible friendships. And I've been grateful that as a family member of Lori's, I never have once felt any kind of hate or animosity from the Vallow family. In fact, y'all have embraced me, and I have felt like, I've felt like one of you. And I've been so grateful for that. And thanks for being a part of that.
Well, we know who good people are, and you're one of them. And we're appreciative for you, everything that you do. And we have truly met such amazing, incredible people that just embraced us and took us in and loved us unconditionally. And it's the most amazing thing I've probably ever seen. Okay, your turn.
Well, I haven't really dug into a lot of true crime cases. This was never a thing that I was that interested in before all of this happened, other than just watching a Dateline from time to time that might have interested me. But I have seen from time to time families on opposing sides, defendant and prosecution being nasty to each other and, not wanting to associate with each other. And y'all have shared some things with me as well. I'm just grateful that that's not this case. And I think that's one of the things Trina Kay said, is that she loved witnessing all of us come together. I think Larry had a lot to do with that. I also think, though, that, when Kresha first saw one of my shows, or I think it was Kay, actually. Kay saw one of my shows and contacted Kresha and said, she's saying the same things that you are, And I don't remember exactly. Well, I do, actually. I can say that the producer of the documentary that Larry and Kay were on, it was the Amazon Prime documentary, contacted me and asked if she could put us in touch, me and Kay and Larry. And that first phone call that we had, they were just so kind and so welcoming and so appreciative of the fact that I see Lori for who she is. And after that got in touch with Kresha, and then meeting you guys here at at Charles's trial, it was more of the same. And I just, having the family that I do, I appreciate so much just literally the opposite treatment. I'm just grateful for that. So thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I want to talk just for a second. We're not going to spend a whole much more time, taxing your brain, but I want to talk for a second about your reaction to Judge Boreski's rulings today. How did you feel about what he said?
He gave her what she deserved, plus another.
You can speak your
Another
mind.
stick up the ass. Here's two. You got to pay $257,000 in fines. No credit for time served.
Right.
He gave her the finger, like,
Yep.
there you go,
Yep.
bitch. And, except he couldn't say it. He's a judge.
Right. He couldn't say it, but he said it without saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when I think the time I wanted to stand up and just start giving a standing ovation is when he said no credit for time served, because generally speaking, I mean, you see judges award that all the time. And then Trina Kay said afterwards that in her 25 years, she has never seen a judge impose the fine. And then to also put a 78% surcharge on the top of it. I was like, go, Judge Boreski, just go. And Trina Kay said, you can kind of tell that's an indication of how the judge feels about her.
Trina Kay is a badass. Judge Boreski is a badass.
Yeah.
And that's just the facts of the case.
Exactly. The facts will show.
They smoked her and she's done. For some reason, if she ever gets out of here, Idaho, she comes back here. And
that's right.
It won't be nice.
It will not be nice. Definitely not. So after Lori's first trial was over in Idaho, you famously said, we got the bitch.
Mm-hmm. They got the bitch.
They got the bitch. What?
Meaning the jury.
The jury. Was that something that was premeditated, or did it just come out at the spur of the moment?
No, I was kind of forced into the microphones because Jerry, come here, talk to him. And I walked up there and I didn't know what the hell to say. I didn't, so I said, they got the bitch. And that was it.
And it became a theme.
I guess.
Because then
a lot of news channels cut it out because I said bitch. But anyway, so that's how that happened.
Yeah, we're not going to cut it out here. And then you repeated that at the end of Charles's trial, and you were at home in your slippers, right? When Brandon's verdict was read.
What's that? Yes.
Yeah,
I was.
You were relaxing and enjoying your dog and your family. But did you say the same thing to the TV when you were watching it?
No, I actually said the MFer word.
It's just satisfying sometimes to say exactly what's on your mind.
I actually jumped up and,
I would have liked to be there.
Imitate my actions, but.
And then today, I didn't get to actually hear what you said today because I was trying to get out of the heat and walk home. By the time y'all came out, I was ready to go. But you were short and sweet again today.
I don't even know what I said. I'd have to look at it on TV.
Yeah.
Don't even remember. I told Brandon, we walked up to the microphones and, Brandon said, you want to say something? I said, you first. And Brandon said what he said. Then I said what I said. And I don't even remember what it was because when you got all kind of cameras and microphones pointing at you, you kind of just say and you don't remember.
Yeah. And it's been a long day. And
it was hot.
It was hot. And it's been a long 6 years. Do you feel a sense of relief now?
Yeah, it's done. It's gone. It's over. I'll move on.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
Always, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish.
I'll always remember Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Hold him fondly in my heart. And memories, and you know, but he's gone. Can't bring him back. So
yeah. I know that the last 6 years have been a lot of chaos, a lot of emotion, a lot of discovering things that probably horrified you. And what I always want to ask is, I know there's been a lot of change in your life over the last 6 years, and a lot of it probably not for the better. But what has stayed the same?
In reference to that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah. Just who you are, what your life is like, what you value.
Is my wife still loves me. She stuck with me through all this, and I was really angry about all of it, and I didn't even know it, but she was the one on the receiving end. And you know, it's really hard to explain, but I'm sorry, baby. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry as such an asshole. But you know, this is over, and tomorrow's a new day. And some things change, some stay the same. I'm still me. I'm just a simple guy. I work. I go home, love my wife and my dogs and my kids and grandbabies and all that. And that's what I do. That's my life. So
Melanie's here with us. She's off camera. You can probably hear her giggling from time to time. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those words that you have for her. She seems lovely. We've gotten to know each other a little bit, and you know, we're sort of kindred spirits. You know, we get pissed off about the same things.
Well, she's a good, decent woman.
Yeah,
she really is.
Yeah.
I'm so glad she tracked me down like a hound dog and married me.
We should all be so lucky. Well, what are you looking forward to?
With what?
With the rest of your life, now that you don't have this fly buzzing around you all the time.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the same, but this Lori stuff won't be hanging over in me anymore. Mm-hmm. It's done. She's gone. The bitch is done. And I won't think about her ever again. Well, I can't say that, but I just move on.
Yeah.
And go on. I got work to do. I got a busy life. Got a lot of kids, a lot of people that love me, and I'm a fortunate man. And I thank God for that. And I'm just press on.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with us about Charles, your brother?
Yeah, we used to, we had so much fun when we were kids. I'm talking, we were 10, 12 years old. And we used to, I probably should have. We used to water balloon cars with, you know, all of our buddies would get together and we'd go down this certain area down the street where we live, right up from the bayou in the woods. And we'd hide behind these trees, and cars would drive by. And we'd water balloon them, you know, and they'd slam on the and then haul ass, take off running, don't get caught. But we knew the woods, and we had our boats on the bayou. We could take off, and we did a lot of mischievous stuff like that. And it was as kids, it was just an incredible life that I lived with Charles.
What's the age difference between you two?
A year and 2 months.
Oh, so you were really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was still a little brother that
Yeah.
tagged along and all that. So
was he ever annoyed with you being a little brother?
All the time.
Yeah. Did he give you noogies and dead legs and
No,
mess with
Charles
you?
never beat me up or harassed me, or he just tolerated me.
Yeah.
You know, he never once like beat me up or stuff.
I was really moved by the story that I've heard you talk about this before when you came back from the war and you were able to start from your service time and you were able to see, he invited you to come and stay with him.
Now, when I came back from overseas, I
Mhm.
wasn't at a war.
Yeah.
But it was a difficult time. The economy sucked, and I couldn't get it. I moved back to Lake Charles, actually, and I couldn't get a job, couldn't find nothing. He said, well, come live with me in Dallas.
Mhm.
That was after he divorced his first wife. And so I did. I drove on up there, and my car burned up just a few miles from his house. And I got there, he come pick me up and gave me a place to live, food to eat, money, bought me a car, and I found a job, and then it went on.
Yeah. He seemed just, I only met Charles one time, but all of the stories that I heard from my family members about who he was, I really had this idea in my mind that Charles was someone who just wanted to take care of people. That's how I always thought of him. And even though, we didn't get to talk or converse like you and I are here, I felt like I knew him in that way. Just always thought of him as such a decent person who just loved his family and just wanted to care for them.
So you met him one time?
I met him one time.
So what was your impression?
He shook my hand. He looked me right in the eye. He seemed so kind. And we just exchanged a few words, and then my kids were running everywhere. So, but
he was like that. He was, he was a good guy. People liked him. And when he'd meet someone, he would do that. Shake your hand, look him in the eye.
Yeah.
And just be sincere.
Yeah. You know how sometimes you can meet somebody and they will shake your hand and greet you or whatever, but you don't really feel like they care about that connection. And I can say that I absolutely felt the opposite with Charles. I felt like he genuinely wanted to meet me and cared about that. And the impression I had was just that he was genuine and kind.
He was.
Yeah.
Till the day he died.
Yeah.
Or the day he was murdered.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I do have a couple of starred comments. Thank you so much, Kelly, for that super sticker. Appreciate you. Linda says, I can see Charles and Gerry.
Thank you, Linda.
And a lot of people have asked this question, why are Charles's sons not involved? He loved his sons, of course. They, from what I understand, have chosen to stay out of the spotlight.
They are very, very private people, professional. And I used to ask that question, man, why ain't y'all, but they just can't. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. It's understandable. You know, we all kind of handle this situation in different ways. And I don't blame anybody who has chosen to not dig into this and stay out of the spotlight. And I think it's traumatic to lose someone you love. And none of us can judge how somebody responds to that. So I'm just grateful for you saying that. Oh, and hi, Hidden True Crime. Hey there, Lauren. Hey, everyone. Here to watch Megan and Gerry. Lauren, we're almost done, so come on up. We're ready to have some relaxation time. Thanks, Irish Jen, for being here. Thanks to all my moderators. Yes, prayers for Colby for a quick recovery for him. Thanks to everyone who's supporting him. God bless
you, Colby. Get better, son.
Yeah, I hope he is getting the answers that he needs and that he's healing. I'm sorry that I haven't watched chat at all because I've just been paying attention here to Gerry, but I will go back through. And if there are questions in the comments, I will definitely answer them. So if you asked a question on the live and you didn't get your answer because I wasn't watching chat, put your question in the comment after the video ends, and I will make sure
that I answered them.
Yes, I will make sure to consult Gerry before I answer. I'm not answering for him. Don't get me wrong. I would never do that. Dr. Vonda Kate, thank you so much for the super chat. And Sandy, thank you for the super chat, super sticker. I don't know the difference. But what I do want to say is that what I always love about this community of mine, this tiny little corner of the internet, is that these people care about justice for these victims. They care so much about making sure that the voices get heard. And I'm so grateful that your voice was heard today. And I hope you feel heard. I hope you feel resolved. And I hope you feel relieved. And I wish you and Melanie and your children, grandchildren, and dogs all the happiness in the world moving forward from this.
Well, thank you. And the same goes with you, Megan.
Thank you. Thanks
You've been really good to us. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah. And you guys have been good to me too. And God knows I need some decent family members in my life. So can I adopt you as an uncle?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is my uncle, Gerry, everybody.
Hey.
Sorry, Kresha. I'm stealing him from you. I'm just taking him. He's just going to be, well, he can be yours too, I guess. We'll share him. All right. Thank you so much, beautiful humans, for being here. Please take good care of yourself and the people that you love. And we'll see you again very soon.
Bye.
I'm actually going to change this because what I want the people to hear is this one.
Because I need to confirm how you're feeling. You because you represent yourself, no one else can waive your own appearance.
You're welcome to come over to the jail and come to my cell and see how I'm doing in there.
All right, I'll take a pass on that.